All right. Welcome back, my beautiful people. Thank you guys for tuning back into the channel. Today is going to be a special day. Today is another completed vinyl little setup that I got going on. This is for one of my favorite artists that has been coming up recently. Now he's more established, and I would arguably say this is one of the best 3 album runs, meaning that the past 3 albums that he's made have been damn near perfect in my opinion. And I'm talking about none other than Vince Staples. The first album I'm actually going to be talking about is going to be his self-titled album, and it's going to be Vince Staples. And the craziest part of this is that when I bought this, the person was selling the Urban Outfitters exclusive. I wasn't no intention to buy any exclusive from him, but the cool thing is that this one actually is like a limited one, and I would say this one's my favorite one simply due to the fact that even he talks about how this is short and sweet. It's 28 minutes in runtime, I believe, and it's arguably his best work simply due to the fact that he's able to deliver a lot for his city. You know, he's talking about Long Beach, his coming up from his youth, and this is 3 years after FM, which came out pre Mac death, I believe. So I mean, him personally being really close to Mac, I can imagine that took a toll on him, as it did for everyone in the world. I also think it's insane how he was able to deliver such great tracks with no filler, and that's exactly what he was going into the studio thinking that he wanted to do. He had a lot of creative freedom simply due to the fact that he was talking about a lot of emotional stuff that had been going on in his life over the past like 3 years or so. And I think that's really cool because you can relate a lot to the tracks that he has going on. I would say some of my favorite tracks on here would have to be the ones that he's talking about, like with Fushi, like Take Me Home, or let's say The Apple in the Tree. Those tracks are really cool simply due to the fact that you get to hear like a deeper side to Vince Staples that you might not have heard, because he is a little brash. He is outspoken. He does like to speak his mind. And I think it's so crazy because simply due to the fact that he was 3 years hiatus, he was able to deliver a great track list. Alongside this album, he released Ramona Park Broke My Heart, which was the continuation to this. And this was a year later. So 2021, he dropped the last one. 2022, he dropped this one. And I think it's so crazy because I didn't think he could top the last one. But yet again, he proves me wrong. With this one, he actually dropped the hit single Magic. And I think that's so crazy because that was his first number one. And that was pre Mustard blowing up. DJ Mustard, that is pre DJ Mustard blowing up with the whole Kendrick stuff. So Mustard had already had a good year. Like I mentioned, this is 2022. So going into 2022, Mustard had already had a great year. So the momentum that Kendrick had probably heard from what was going on with the West Coast, since Vince Staples is also a West Coast native, I think it's so cool because you get to see how there's progression alongside all artists when it comes to how tapped in certain people are when it comes to music. And I would say Vince Staples is one of those artists that doesn't really get the credit that he deserves. And I think it's so cool because when I was younger, I would see Mac Miller always put on for Vince Staples, and even Vince Staples had an interview where he's like, why is this why is this white guy that I don't know over here helping us? Like he looks nothing like us, and he's just helping and doing like nice things, and he's not asking for anything in return. And I think Mac saw that there was potential that nobody had seen yet, not even Vince Staples himself. And I think that work ethic spoke for itself. And just listening to tracks such as like Rain featuring Vince Staples with Mac and Faces, I think it's so crazy because you could see the progression right alongside. It's damn near been 10 years since that track had been released. And I can say nothing but great things about Vince Staples. I would say if anybody wants to look into an artist that's really good for rap, I would say Vince Staples is definitely one of the ones that I'm picking. I would say Magic on this one was really good, and I would say DJ Quick was really great. I would say Play Your Waves was pretty cool. Bang That was probably my most played track off of this. And the next one is going to be Dark Times. This one's really hard to see, and I actually found a little Easter egg online. I didn't know about it, but on the web, I highly recommend you look at it. But on the middle of the album, it says Dark Times in dark font, and there's like a noose, like an actual noose, the things that used to be used for lynching back in the day for African Americans. And I think that's so crazy because he was able to paint a picture of not only pain from back in the days, but also pain that he was feeling. And it comes through with songs such as like Black and Blue, Government Cheese. I think my favorite song off of it is Etouffee. I believe that's a French word, and it's so awesome. The beat choices on all of this is super cool. Certain songs such as like Little Homies and I would say Children's Song are great. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing more that I can say that's good about this album. This is probably like his best work as of recent. This came out in 2024, so 2021, 2022, 2024. He had a little break in 2023, and he could have taken like 2 years, to be honest, because the runs that he did with these albums have been amazing. And yeah, I just wanted to get on here because they just came in the mail not too long ago. Wanted to unbox them and talk about them. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys for tuning back in and listening to me. I highly recommend Vince Staples once again. He's one of the greats. He doesn't get enough credit, sadly, but I do know that in the next coming years, he's going to be releasing more projects, and they're probably going to be better than these. And these have already been great, so I can only imagine what's going to be. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day / night / week. And I hope you guys have a good one. Deuces. Love you.